Hello and welcome to Ladies Flint's Fashions, baby. Today I am rocking my black see-through dress. Okay, and I decided to put some biker shorts in. You know, you can't be showing all your prizes. And also I decided to rock it with my purse, my queen purse. All silver accessories, all silver. You can wear it with the fur. You can wear it without the fur. Yes, baby. Rocking my black and silver, the Raiders colors. I love you guys. So black and silver is the colors for today with my fur. Blessings, guys. Blessings. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Diaspo TV. What a blessing, what a blessing. Thank you, Mr. Allen. Thank you, Diaspo TV, for having this beautiful, beautiful show. But welcome to the next segment of Ladies Flint installment. Y'all, are y'all ready? I asked y'all, are y'all ready? Y'all ready? Let me tell you something. I am so blessed today. Blessed beyond measure to have my big, loving, kind-hearted brother today. Yes, I said it right. My brother, who is actually a journalist, and I'll let him tell you his story. So welcome, big bro. How are you? I love you.
Always love, sweetie. Always love.
Thank you so much.
And I'm so very proud of you.
Oh, you're going to make me cry like I did the last week.
It's all good.
Thank you so much for coming.
It's all good. In life, I express to people after I've traveled the world many times over. The only places I haven't been has been China and Russia. But for me, I do find that people, for the most part, are just genuine and just want to be happy, loving, taking care of families, and living a productive life. I do find that traveling, it broadens your mind, your horizons. It gives you a depth of detail about what do you want to do with life. What extension do you want to have in your life, as opposed to just feeling like everything is complicated and nothing that you do or say or try to strive for or be is complicated, because some people feel, especially high school students, when they don't feel like they have an out. Everybody's not cut out to go to school.
Exactly. I agree with that.
But for me, I chose the military, and I think genuinely it was about the greatest thing I ever did in life, other than playing sports and having great neighbors, family, parents, friends. And I haven't been home steadily in the last 47 years, maybe about 8 days straight. Other than that, and South Florida's changed so much. I mean, my hometown is really something new to me.
Metropolitan.
South Florida is really grown, but it's no place like home, even though I've been everywhere and done everything I wanted to do in life. And I find the most interesting people are basically the ones I grew up with, and on the playing fields over in Pompey Park, Block 48, Atlantic High School, Boca High. Those playing fields made me a man. They brought me to be a man. And once I got out in the world, everything was structured when I was coming up through Coach Coffey, Coach Bill Smith, Eddie Odom, wonderful people like that, Mike Raymond, God bless him. And life has been easy for me because I had people in place.
Yeah.
I didn't, but God did. And those things that they taught me, and other folks, my friends, it made us good men.
I agree.
Be productive citizens and show love. And for me, nothing is complicated, because all I want to do, and all I ever will be, is just a good human being, spread joy and peace. And when you have that moniker about you in life, your travels, things you do, the people you touch, if you're honest and you got the God in you and the Spirit, His Spirit in you, they'll never be the same. They'll never be the same.
And that's so amazing that you brought that up. And I want to get started. That was a beautiful introduction, what you said. I want to start about the football, the sports. How did you come about? You know, I know my parents, you know, they were very supportive in whatever we wanted to do. But I was, you know, I came late. I came later on in life. So explain, how did you get started with the sports and the football, and with Coach Coffee and Coach Raymond, God bless him, and Eddie Odom, and, you know, Red Odom, and all of this? How did you get into sports, and who started you doing it?
Well, we got to rewind a whole bit, because when I came into the world, I had to, and I might be prejudiced when I say, but I think I had the greatest mom in the world.
Oh, no, that ain't prejudice. I agree with that. We did have the greatest mom in the world.
She was sweet. And when I came in the world, I was very sick. A lot of my friends didn't know it, but the doctors told my mom I wouldn't live past 30 days. 90% of my heart was open. I had the worst form of asthma you could have. And eczema. I had it from my chest down to my ankles. I was tied to a hospital bed for the first year and a half, 2 years of my life. And to see my mom, my dad, and her parents tender to me. And that's where I developed at a young age maturity about caring for people, because I had people in my life that absolutely cared for me. I remember the times and the days when Dad was working, my grandpa, he would come over, take me to the doctor along with my mom, pick me up. I was in a bad situation physically, but the mind, I never forget how they cared for me and the love that they showed me. And that's why I became a dreamer. And every day, I would say, thank you, Lord, for this day. Amen. I wake up with a grateful heart. But to answer your question about the sports didn't come to me easy like it came to a lot of my friends. I couldn't sit for a long period of time. I had to stay in a room that was dust-free. There were certain foods I could eat, a lot of things I could not eat. So my parents and grandparents, they had a tumultuous time. But as I grew older, by the time I got like to 8 years old, and I just decided for myself, and I stepped out on faith. And I asked my mom, can I play sports? And she said, no, you're just too sickly. And I said, well, Mom, I understand, but let me try. If I say I don't try, how would I know what I can do and what I can't do?
What you can't, right. Wow.
And by the time I got to the 12th grade, I started growing. I was getting EKGs 2 and 3 times a year. My mom was a nurse, so she knew about the physical aspects in that part of my life. And my voice got a little deeper. I never got to put on a lot of weight because of my illness, but I was just destined to see how far I could go and trust God with the things that I want to challenge myself with. Because I got a little tired of seeing my buddies out there running around the field and the little girls chasing them.
Oh.
Yeah, you know. But I didn't want to go into it because all the little pretty girls was chasing Johnny and Ferg and all those. But I did it for the mentality that I wanted to see how far I could go with my trust in the Spirit of God. And by the time I got to the 10th grade, my heart closed up, the murmur closed up.
Look at God.
The eczema was gone, the asthma was gone, and then I got the respect from my buddies because I became a very good football player. But I became a better human being because I asked God and I trusted Him. And He said, that's you. That's you. And all these travels later, all over the world, everything I was in the past has made me who I am now. And
right.
And I like the audience to know a few things. When it comes to life, for what I believe in, and is genuinely honest. Their life is a wonderful journey. I've always taken the road that was difficult, only for the reason that when you go through trials and tribulations, if you keep God right there, not by your side, but in front, everything that you do after that, when you trust Him, He'll give you blessings like rainwater, like waterfalls, and things that happen in your life that you can't even explain. But I'll even go further into that, because the type of person that people should aspire to be, maybe not good for other people, they just genuinely just want to exist. Always leave a mark. Doesn't have to be it can be minute, but just touch someone's spirit. They may be going through a bad time.
That's right.
A low bridge in their life, and a simple smile, a hello, open the door for them. It might change the whole dimension of a person's life.
Yeah.
And I don't partake in the counting how many days I've lived and how many breaths I've taken. I genuinely would like to say, when I leave this world, I was a good man. He did it the right way. He was just a good person, and more than anything else, when I walk away from a person, I've talked to him, I spoke with him, they said, man, that was something that just really took my breath away.
Right.
And they remember goodness. The bad things, you look at the news, okay, I get the pundits, the talking heads, all of that. But when you center it on your place in the world, take your place in the world. Enjoy every day that you have.
That's right.
Because we don't know, no one knows when our number's called. And I'm not a holy roll or anything like that, but for me, I believe in the power of God, His Spirit. I love His Spirit in me. So just a smile. I can't stop smiling. I can't stop giving. And my trust it forbids, it lives, it's in the universe with God. I just love life.
And that's the beautiful thing. That's the beautiful thing. So that's how you got with Mom saying, with the football. So you played college football as well, right? Okay, and where did you go to college? I mean, I know, but I want you to tell the audience. How did you end up there and all that good stuff?
A good friend of mine, we graduated in 1977. All my football buddies are brothers to me. I'm brothers to them. And I went up to North Dakota State along with a dear friend of mine, Robert Marchetti. And 3 weeks after we got there, I think that was like 1977, August 15th, 16th of 1977. They had a major snowstorm coming from South Florida. Never saw snow. And some of the snow drifts, they were like 8, 12 feet tall. The second week we was up there, the temperatures averaged 20 below. And I told Mom I need to come home. She said, no, you need to stay. You need to stay your butt right where you are. So she wound up sending me some nice parkas and stuff like that for Bob and I, and it was just great. And speaking of him, I hadn't seen him since 1977, and I drove out to Colorado from Atlanta to partake in his wedding, and Johnny Haynes, he came along, and his wife Joy, and it was just a tremendous time. It was
1977.
Hadn't seen him since 1977.
Wow.
But yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry. So how long did you stay there? How did you end up at Georgia, and how long did you stay there?
God bless Eric Russell. He saw some film of me playing football, and he said, "Well, Al, he was a Southern gentleman. He says, Al, I saw some game film of you. Very sweet man. And he said, you don't want to go keep going up to North Dakota State? I said, he said, why? I said, well, coach, it's just too cold. And got homesick a little bit, to be honest. So he says, I tell you what, you're not big as nothing. You got good height, and you seem like a pretty good ball player. I'm not going to promise you a scholarship, but you want it. You got to work for it. That was news to me because everything I've done in life, through God's grace, I had to work for it. Nobody gave me anything.
Of course.
And this I got wound up at Georgia. And that was like a year and 2 months. I earned a full scholarship after about a year.
Wow.
And after that, I broke my ankle. And I told Mom, that's it. That's it. That's it. I got broke up at North Dakota State. I got broke up at University of Georgia. And that's it. And that's when I joined the service.
And how did you get from, because like I told you, ladies and gentlemen, he's the journalist. Mm-hmm. You know, I got the personality like he does. We have the personality, but he is a licensed journalist. How did you get from playing football? You said you went into the service, because you guys got to remember I was little. You know, he's got a couple of years on me. So how did you end up in the service as a journalist? I mean, how did that come about?
That's a good question.
Tell us about that, and then we're going to get to your passion.
Well, in my 10th grade year, I wrote a play.
I remember.
And I had two fine people in my life in English. Jim Backus, he was my 10th grade literature teacher, and Miss Elegant Gallagher, she was my 11th grade speed reading teacher. I didn't know at the time they were close friends, their families. Mrs. Gallagher's husband, he read one of my stories one time, and he told my speed reading teacher, which is his wife, Miss Ellen Gallagher, we need to sit him down. And I wrote a play, and they produced it at University of Miami School of Arts. He did, and Mr. Backus used to call Mom all the time and said, well, Miss Flint, he's got to take advanced courses because he has it. He has the potential to be, there. He's there. So after I left football, that's what I fell back on because I felt like God gave it to me.
Right.
And I wasn't using it. And when I got in the service, in the Navy, I remember structure. Coach Coffin, all these great people, Mom and Dad and them, all these people gave me structure. So when I got in the service, I did very well. I almost aced the military exam. And there were a lot of different things I could have chosen, but I chose journalism. And that was December 3rd, 1979 when I went in. And 2 years later, I was just doing my thing, being a journalist in the Navy. I won 5 Navy Achievement Medals, which was equivalent to about 5 Oscars or Grammys.
Wow.
Sailor of the Year, Journalist of the Year. But it was just an honor for me to have a village that prepared me for my journey through life.
Right. They were part of the journey. They were part of the journey.
So it was always fun for me, editing stories, going out shooting A and B roles, talking to people, writing stories. Been stationed at the United States Naval Academy, everything in the Southeast Asian hemisphere, up in Europe, throughout Europe, Italy, Norway, Sweden, the Philippines, throughout Australia, Korea. I can go on and on, but Benidorm, Spain, all these places, they shaped me for the rest of my life. I have no hidden agendas, no hiccups. People are just people.
Exactly,
and,
exactly.
But I think for young people coming out of school and you don't know what you want to do, try the military. You're going to learn a great trade. You're going to go places, and you're going to be taken care of. And then in the totality of my life, I'm getting ready to move out to Wyoming, and I want to open up my own news magazine and probably write stage plays and be content in the mountains, in the snow, and just live my life, the rest of my life, whatever I have left. But I probably want to get involved in writing a great book. I have a title in mind, but maybe it may be written or be in a movie scene well before I leave here. But all that is in
your head.
Yeah, it's in my head.
That's beautiful, and you can manifest that. I mean, that's beautiful. Now, what are some of the disadvantages that you see as far as when you were being delivering the news in the Navy as a journalist? What did you see like some of the disadvantages of that?
Well, for me, it never was a disadvantage because I enjoyed writing stories, but the complex of it was that you had to have a deadline. If that newspaper or newsletter had to be out by a certain time, that means you had to know how to use your time wisely, because you get grades. We get graded every day in journalism. Grammar, punctuation, time frame.
Right.
But what was so good with me, I wrote my own stories, I edited my own stories, I took my own pictures black and white. I went in and I developed my own pictures in black and white.
Now, how blessed is that? Y'all hear this? Mm-hmm. He cut out the whole middleman. You did everything.
Mm-hmm. Went through the school, through the military, and it didn't cost me anything.
What a blessing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What a blessing. Totally cut out the middleman. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's amazing, big bro. I didn't even know that.
And then what's unique about life is when you know that the information that you receive, and if you give it out and being humble about it, God will still bless you and everybody that you touch because you kept him in that circle.
That's right.
You kept him in
You have to. I mean, I don't see any other way. That's just me, my personal take on it. But so, by how long did you deliver the news? You said you started 2 years after, correct?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Okay, so how long did you deliver the news?
The 2 years after I came out of boot camp, that was schooling, yeah, in editing, giving news, taking pictures, developing pictures, and then they give you hard news. Hard news is what you see on WPTV, who, what, when, where, and why. When you turn on the newscast, they're going to say, today in the news, an event took place such and such a time, and John Doe is the culprit. But they're giving you the who, the when, the what, and the where, and the why in 20 seconds. But in a feature, it's like the color of life. You can take a character, you can take two characters, how many characters you want, whether they're protagonist or an antagonist, and you can give them color. You can paint the road, you can color the atmosphere around the subject matter.
Do whatever you want.
Yeah, you can do whatever you want, and that's what I like. The hard news, it's okay for those that like that.
Right.
My mind is a analytical force that God gives. He gave me something that I treasure and I won't waste, but eventually I'll get back into writing books, writing stories.
And you should. You should,
but I want to do that. That's why
your passion,
right? That's why I'm going out to Wyoming.
Yeah, because I know this is your passion. And tell us real quickly about when you wrote the article. What was the movie with the Tom Cruise movie? The last one that came out. You wrote something and they published it. Could you tell us about that?
That was I even had something in Ebony magazine about a guy, by a black aviator, McFarland, and they picked it up. But that was in 1987, and I had a copy of it, but I don't now. It was in the old homestead, but I was on a ship, USS Forrestal. It was the world's first conventional carrier, steam-driven. And I was there for 5 years, 5,000 men, and I believe 100 warships. From bow to stern, it would reach the 82nd floor of the New York Empire. But that was where I really shined, because we had a staff of maybe 4 journalists and then an officer. So that means those 4 journalists, we had to get along write stories, give newscasts, give radio station airplay, a lot, and you had to please 5,000 men.
Oh wow!
So, but
that's something.
But I wrote a story my last year there, and they put it in the mothballs. It was 87, 88. I wrote a story, and the title of it was Forrestal's Greatest Hour, and it was just a microcosm of what we did in 10 months at sea. And it was picked up by every newspaper in Northeast Georgia. And they flew journalists out, and they talked to my boss, and my boss said, no. That's his story. That's who I answer to. He wrote this story.
Wow.
So, yeah, it's just about being passionate about whatever you do in life.
Right.
Yeah.
So now this is my last question. Where do you see yourself with your writing in the next 5 years or so, or however you plan to do this? Where do you see yourself with this?
Well,
because I know this is your passion.
I want to be the next Ernest Hemingway. And
all right now.
That'll take place. It won't be in Key West. Mine will be up in the mountains. But I want to be remembered as such a great writer and a fine human being.
And you know you got that. And that's a beautiful thing. So, ladies and gentlemen, here you have it. My big brother, Alphonso Flint. My big brother, can you believe it? I've been wanting to get this interview for the longest. So with that being said, he's not on any platforms or anything like that. So he's old fashioned. But we're gonna say good night. We love you. Thank you, my big brother. I love you. My big brother.
I'm proud of you.
I'm proud of you too. This is the one with the journalist license. So we're gonna say good night. We love you. Thank you, Diaspo TV. And thank you, Mr. Allen. Be blessed, guys.
Thank you.
Blessings.